Hey guys, welcome back to Sonu Kumar Productions. If you're getting ready for a React.js interview and you want to ace it, you're in the right place. Today, I'll be walking you through everything you need to know to prepare for a React.js interview, from key concepts to the common interview questions. So, grab your notes, and let's get started. First, let's cover the basics. You've got to be comfortable with core React concepts because interviews love to start simple and build up. Here's what you need to know. JSX, understand how JSX works, why it's used, and how it gets compiled into JavaScript. Components, be clear on functional VS class components and how to pass props between them. State and props, know how state is managed in React and how it's passed down through props. Lifecycle methods, if you're using class components, understand lifecycle methods like component did mount and component will unmount. Make sure you're able to explain these concepts clearly and give examples, because most interviews will start with these. Now, React hooks. They're huge. Most modern React applications use hooks instead of class components, so brush up on these. Use state, know how to manage state within a function component. Use effect, this is critical for handling side effects. You'll be asked about how to fetch data or interact with the DOM using use effect. Use context, this hook is great for managing global state without using external libraries. Interviews may also dive into advanced hooks like use reducer or custom hooks, so be ready to explain when and why you'd use them. Interviews love to test your understanding of React's internal mechanisms, like the virtual DOM and how React efficiently updates the UI. Make sure you can explain what the virtual DOM is and why it exists, how React's reconciliation process works, how React's rendering process works and how to optimize performance. Think memoization, React.memo, use callback, and use memo. Next up is state management. In React, you need to know how to manage state across your application. Here are the most common approaches. Local state, using useState for component-level state. Context API, for simple, app-wide state management. Redux, you'll likely be asked about Redux if the company works on larger apps, so make sure you're familiar with actions, reducers, and the store. Interviews often focus on how well you can design React components to be reusable and maintainable. Be prepared to talk about higher-order components, hooks, how you'd use them to enhance component behavior. Render props, how to pass functions to components to control what gets rendered. Hooks for reusability, writing custom hooks that encapsulate shared logic between components. Let's quickly cover some common React.js interview questions you might come across. What's the difference between state and props? How does use effect work and how can you avoid infinite loops? What is React.memo and when should you use it? Can you explain how to handle forms in React? Be ready to answer questions not just with definitions, but also with real-world examples. For the coding portion, make sure you're comfortable with building simple components on the spot, passing data between parent and child components, handling user input in forms and managing state. Brush up on tools like Code Sandbox, since you may need to use them during the interview. And that's a wrap. If you follow these steps, you'll be ready to nail your React.js interview. Don't forget to practice coding challenges and review documentation as you prepare. If you have any questions or want more tips, drop a comment below. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tech interview tips. Good luck!